Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Arcade Hunter. This episode was filmed at the Brunswick Zone XL in Gilbert, Arizona, which is a bowling alley, but they've also got a big arcade, they've got laser tag, a bunch of other stuff. But let's take a look at the arcade. And this was the first game that caught my eye, this world's largest Pac-Man game. Let's take a closer look and see how it plays. The display itself is actually made up of a bunch of tiny LED lights, which gives it a really cool pixelated look. The footage here is not doing it justice. It looks really neat in person. The other cool thing is this is actually a two-player co-op game. Unfortunately, I did not have somebody who could film and also play at the same time, so I'm only able to show you single-player play here. The bonus fruit dances around the screen, and it also changes. You can see it changing there between different images, and depending on what it is when you catch it, dictates how many points you get. I think the little Galaxian thing gives you the most points. Now that white line that appeared there for a minute, that seemed to be some sort of graphical glitch that would happen intermittently, but not a huge deal. It didn't affect the play at all. Pac-Man is just such a fun game, and it is really cool in the supersized version of it. Alright, and I made the highest scoreboard. Let's see what else we can find. Skill cranes, of course. These are at every arcade now. A lot of ticket redemption machines too, of course. But some older ones which were cool to see. Ones that I haven't seen in a long time. Ugh, and these machines are a lie. I hate these. Here's one of these like roller coaster simulators. Not a huge fan of those either. But then they had this really cool rifle light gun shooting gallery. This was tons of fun. There was actually like physical targets around the screen too that you could shoot that would do different things, which was really cool. And this is also actually a ticket redemption game, so you earn tickets based on your score. And being the only person playing it, I was able to rack up a pretty high score and get quite a few tickets off this machine. This was definitely one of the cooler things that I got to play at this arcade that day. If you ever find a Doc's Interactive Shootout shooting gallery, definitely play it. Here's more ticket redemption games, and of course your obligatory air hockey tables. And skee-ball. Gotta have skee-ball at an arcade. But then I found some really cool machines back here in the corner. An old Dance Dance Revolution machine, which is something I haven't seen in a while. And then Time Crisis 4, which I love Time Crisis games. If you're not familiar with how Time Crisis games work, there's a foot pedal, and when you push it is when you pop out from behind cover and you can shoot. And then when you let go, you duck back behind cover again. Also, while you're ducking for cover, you can switch between weapons if you have different weapons. In this game, there's a machine gun, a regular handgun, a shotgun, and I forget what the other weapon is. But I really do love light gun games, and the Time Crisis games I think are always tons of fun. And Time Crisis 4 is not a game that I've come across a lot or had a lot of chances to play, so this was definitely a treat to get to play it. There's the machine gun. Lots of ticket redemption machines. But then there was this game that was like a room-sized game called Atomic Rush. And you can see you just run around and touch different color icons. Basically, each player has a color, and you have to run around and touch your colors. Seems like a lot of real estate to dedicate to just one game, especially when you can see here nobody's playing it. But I imagine this game might get a little bit more play with the night crowd. This was like Saturday early afternoon, so I can see why people weren't playing it. Here's a view inside, and it sounds like a Hollister store in the mall here. This is just not my cup of tea, this game. We've got some more ticket redemption games back here, and then a couple of supersized games. This big Carnival Strongman game. That Hammerhead game is basically whack-a-mole, and that's an older machine too. I remember that from when I was a kid. Then here is a supersized version of that ball drop ticket machine, which I'm actually pretty good at the normal size version of that. I can get the jackpot quite often. There's the normal size version right there. And they actually have bumper cars in this arcade, which is kind of cool. I'm too big for them, unfortunately. I found this game called Sink It, which is basically kind of like beer pong. You're supposed to bounce the ball into the cups, and you get 20 balls to get all of the cups. And I'm pretty good at beer pong, which this basically is beer pong. But the roof is kind of low on this thing, and you'll see here I kind of had some trouble where my shots were bouncing back at me. There's one. I had a harder time with this game than I felt like I should have. Just terrible at this thing. It's a cool idea for a ticket redemption game, though. I mean, it was fun to play even though I was terrible at it. Something else I didn't notice is that there was a time limit. I thought you just had your 20 balls and however, you had however long it took you to shoot those 20 balls, but then I started getting a countdown. I kind of had an oh shit moment here.
Yeah, I want you to get them all.
That didn't work. Now here's a supersized version of the Terminator Salvation shooting game. I've never seen one this big before. And then there was a supersized Connect 4 machine here. You can see this arcade kind of has a running theme of having supersized versions of things. And then over here we had a few environmental cabinet shooters, Jurassic Park and Transformers game. And both these games basically play the same. There's two mountain guns in there, so one or two players can sit in there and just shoot at either dinosaurs or Decepticons, depending on which one you play. And we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of Arcade Hunter with the bumper cars in action. I just thought this was a cool thing, bumper cars inside an arcade. I've not seen that before. So, yeah, if you're in Gilbert and you're anywhere near the Brunswick Zone XL Center, go check it out. It's a cool arcade. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and take care. Hey, thanks for watching episode 4 of Arcade Hunter. With this being episode 4, that means there's 3 other episodes you can go check out. Or if you want, you can check out one of these videos I've got here. Also, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also don't forget to check out my links to the social media crowd. And as always, thanks again for watching. Galaga, Miss Pac-Man machine, what are you doing out here? You should be in the arcade. This is a crime.